Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is on how to cut a kimono, and a kimono has been around for a really long time. I don't even know why it's now I'm just putting up the tutorial. Anyways, what is a kimono? A kimono is a dress. It could be in form of a gown or a shirt or a blouse that the sleeve extends from the shoulder down to your desired length of sleeve without an armhole curve or an armhole, like the armhole. There's no armhole, but there's an extended sleeve that comes from your shoulders down to the desired length. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to cut an unconventional kimono. This kimono, I bet you've not seen it anywhere. So if you want to learn how to cut my secret unconventional kimono, keep watching. Okay, keep watching and don't forget to subscribe.
So I'm starting with a piece of chalk. These are things I'm going to be using: an office pin, some office pins, a measuring tape, my scissors, a piece of fabric, and of course my ruler. So what I did here was I spread out my fabric and sort of folded it into two. Then I folded it into four. After that, I slashed open the folded ends, and I did this to enable me separate the two parts of the fabric, to separate it into the front part and the back part. When I was done with that, all I did was I placed the fabrics on each other, the both part of the fabric on each other. Then from the top of my fabric, I took my blouse length at 24 inches. Connected my markings with a straight line. And I took out the excess fabric. So I started with my back bodice, and from there I took my neck depth at 1.5 inch, and from the center I took my neck width at 4 inches. Then I went over to the front bodice. I had sort of two neckline. One was like a curved neckline, a rounded neckline. The other was a V neckline. So for my initial neckline, I took 3 inches for my neck depth, and for the second I took 3.5 inches for the second neck depth. Then for my neck width, I took 4 inches. When I was done with that, I connected that with a curved line. Then for the second sort of V neckline, I took 1 inch from the center and sort of drew a triangle in such a way that the end of the triangle is narrow to the rounded neckline. I connected that to the rounded neckline. So from the center of my dress, I extended my tape forward and marked 8 inches for my shoulder point. And I connected my neckline to my shoulder point with a slanted line. Then from that point, I took my desired sleeve length at 10 inches. I also considered the fabric I had though, but 10 inches worked for me. So you can take whatever you want. From that point, I extended my tape downward and took 1 inch. Why I did that, sort of to be able to take away that 1 inch, helps your shoulder lines, help the sleeve, that's the kimono now, to relax well on your shoulder line as it extends down your arm. So that's the reason for that 1 extra inch that way. So I used my ruler and connected my shoulder point down to my extended sleeve. So from my shoulder point, I marked 10. I extended my tape downwards and marked 10 inches. This sort of served as my armhole point. It also served as my bust point. I also marked 17 inches also to serve as my half blouse or my waistline. Okay. Then from the center of my piece, I extended my tape and took 10.5 inches. That's 10.5 inches. Normally my bust is 8.5 inches, but because this is a kimono, it's a free dress, I decided to add 2 extra inches. So for this I added 2 extra inches, and I went ahead to take same measurement, 10.5 inches around my waistline. The thing with kimono is take whatever you took for your bust line across the entire length of the fabric. That's from your armhole down to the hem of your blouse. So this was just what I did. I took 10.5 inches from my bust point to my waist point and to the hem of my blouse. I was verifying my measurement at this point. And when I was done with that, I connected it with a straight line. So I added a 1 inch allowance across my entire seam. I added a 1 inch seam allowance across the entire sides. So marked it at each point and connected them with a straight line. I also did that across the sleeve area. When I was done with that, all I did, I went ahead to cut my neckline out, to cut my measurements out. I started with my back bodice. I cut out the neckline there. Then the front bodice. Started with my neckline. Then I went over to my shoulder lines. And the side seams. Here I was notching the piece so I'd know the center and won't get confused. I did this for the front and back piece, then I tagged it also.